Okay, so we're now in a position where we've collected all our data. We've used SparkView to find out the information we want. So just to tidy up our spreadsheet a little, we need to be consistent with our number of significant figures. So with the gradient, it goes from 0 up to 0.1. Let's just make sure that we have the same number of sig figs. Okay, and it looks like we probably can choose to have 3 or 4. Okay, same goes for the change in velocity, and the time are all done to a certain number of significant figures. So we want to sort of just make that so they're all a bit consistent. Okay, these are all fine. So remember, when we want to insert an XY scatter chart, on the X axis is going to be the gradient, okay, of the slope. Okay, on the y-axis, okay, is going to be the acceleration. So we go to Insert and Charts. You want to choose the one that is the scatter plot. Okay, along from there. Looks pretty good. But now for refinement, what we want to do is we need to put that somewhere where we can have a better chart. So to do that, we choose Chart Design and move the chart, and you choose to a new sheet. Okay, so we've got that part from there. So then what we want to do is add various labels. Okay, so the title we're going to change, okay, to acceleration versus gradient. Okay, you can select it, underline it, and make it bold. Okay, so that's good for the ones from there. Whilst we're on this chart, okay, we can choose chart design, and you can add things. So we want to axis titles. So the primary, okay, axis from there, if we select it, this, remember, was the gradient of the slope, and it's got no units because it's a ratio. Again, we want to add a vertical one. Okay, and the axis title for the horizontal, if you remember, was the acceleration, and the units of that, remember, were meters per s. Okay, and you want it squared. I'll let you find out how you get that little square symbol. Okay, so next thing, Excel does blobs. We don't want blobs, we want crosses. So if we right click on the series, so what we can do is format the data series, choose this, the line and point options, choose the marker options. We don't want to fill for it. We just want the marker options to be built in. We want them to be crosses. Okay. You probably can't see that that's made them into crosses, but I can make them a little bigger, and I can choose the color that I want them. It's black and white, so it's obviously the black from there. Okay, then we click off. Okay, we've got the bit from there. It doesn't quite look like graph paper. Okay, but I'm gonna, if I right click and format the axis, one of the things I can choose is what the scale of it, and I am going from 0 to about 1.2. Okay, so in actual fact, I probably only want to go to 1.1. Okay, because my highest was up there, but it's made it a minus, so I'm going to make it back to 0. Okay, all nice scale. Usually we do, the major unit would be a tenth of the full thing, and it works out there, and therefore the minor ones would also be a tenth of that. Okay, that will work when I add minor grid lines, and you'll see that in a moment. I can straight away just click on this axis, and it straight away is now doing the x-axis. So that all seems pretty straightforward, but I probably want to be putting more bits on here. So I'm going to make it 0.1, and the minor, okay, a fraction of that, also a tenth of that. Okay, so you now look, I've got reasonably straight grid lines. If I right click on that, I can add the minor grid lines, and you can see them appearing there. And on this one, I can add the minor grid lines on that one. Now, okay, we're almost ready. Okay, I can get rid of that bit from there. One of the things Excel is very good at is plotting, working out what's called a regression line if I add a trend line. And it's done a pretty good job, okay, of showing that, okay, and that's, in this particular instance, that has worked quite well. Quite clearly, that point is an anomaly. So if I put that on from there, it included that anomaly in the data. Whereas if I now draw my own line by inserting, okay, and I want to add in a shape of a straight line, okay, and I'll choose that one just as we've done before. I'm going to go from that point to that point, okay, and you'll notice that's almost, we're taking out that anomaly, is looking slightly better. Okay, so the other thing you can do is you can format that to make it look a little bit weightier, okay, thicker, okay, and there we go. So we've got that, and ideally what I want to do is I want to screenshot that into my, okay, OneNote, and then I can take answer some various questions along that. For example, was that what I was expecting to happen? What was that the outcome I was expecting? Because it looks pretty linear in this one. Okay, happy chart plotting.